Yeah, like after
Yeah,
like past the fourth round, I was like, "Yo,
this
bro,
man's
like,
dang it. He didn't get rich
yo,
at this point no
put
more.
your hands up, bro. Like, what's going on? Fury's just having a field day with your face, man. Like,
And
even like some more extra seconds. It's like, yo, I understand. Like, he has mad pride, but yo, bro, like, bro, calm out there, man. Like,
he's gonna learn from that.
relax.
Yeah.
Relax. Like, I know you got mad pride and you want to get up and show that you're not hurt and stuff like that.
But you could get him
Fury,
even more hurt like that.
Fury just be kicking back. Is like, oh man, let me catch my breath real quick before I get back up and lay your ass out, bro.
Yo, and what's going on, Mike? Welcome back. Episode 20. A La Une Sports. Subscribe, like on YouTube, A La Une Sports. What's going on, Mike? Welcome back.
Thank you for having me, bro. Good to be back. It's always nice doing those things.
All the time. Yo, every time I do a show with you, I always look at the background. Yo, that's cool background, man. Like the anime things. It's just crazy over there.
I need some more posters,
I need
actually.
posters. I need one at least. All right. So we got an international break. France just won against Spain for that UEFA Nations League final,
Yeah.
2-1. So we haven't had any club. It's supposed to be back when like in two not this weekend, next weekend or this weekend coming
No,
up.
this upcoming weekend. Yeah,
Speaking
this
up of
upcoming weekend.
all right, all right. We'll be back to get some real soccer back. So yeah, going to our very first topic, I wanted to discuss with you with Manchester City.
Hmm.
Um, so you know how heavy Pep Guardiola usually rotated his team,
Hmm.
and I wanted to talk about the front trio that Pep usually uses, or he rotates that a lot, but right now usually sometimes it's Grealish, Ferran Torres, and Mahrez, and he rotates it sometimes. Sometimes he puts Sterling, but most of the time Grealish is always in that trio. He's been there. He's been the guy that's been starting. Now what I
Consistently.
want,
Yeah.
yeah. First of all, I wanted to ask you what you think Pep Guardiola best trio should be. But I wanted to give you a quick stat. You know, like fans has been asking. A lot of people have been really talking about Grealish, his
Hmm.
performance. For his price, they have saying that they have not really seen much of him. But before I give you more stats about him, I wanted to ask you, what do you think about him in Manchester City right now, his improvement, and what's Manchester City's best trio for Pep Guardiola?
I think so far for Grealish, he's been satisfactory. He's just not. He's okay. He's not.
What's a
Um,
letter grade you would give him right now?
for right now, I'd say like a C plus.
Okay,
Like for
passing that.
Grealish, yeah. Like it's a passing grade for him. I'd say like yeah, C plus for him. It's just the fact that I think Grealish he hasn't conformed to the Pep Guardiola way yet. I mean, he's a pass and move type of player, and Grealish seems like he holds the ball a little bit too much at times. Trying to figure things out, but he still gets in certain positions. He's probably gonna have to increase, his goal scoring output, especially in certain positions that he gets, which is the same thing that was required for Raheem Sterling. But so far, he's like adequate. He's just not. It's not anything extraordinary or anything like that. Like he's adequate. And for a guy that they paid £100 million plus for him or whatnot, I think it's okay because I mean, if you're comparing like him to Sancho, for example, like I would rather have his performances compared to what Sancho is actually giving for Manchester United right now. So that's a little bit telling.
So you actually went the same direction I wanted to will this conversation. when you said that he has not adapted to Pep Guardiola way. I wanted to give you a quick stat. In 2020 and 2021, when he was playing last season with Aston Villa, he
Mhm.
was averaging a 3.9 dribbles per game, 38.3 passes per game, and took 1.9 shots per game. And he also won a ridiculous 4.2 fouls per game. Now, when he's in Manchester City, his averages went down a little bit. Let me see. Let me find the dribble for you. 3.1 dribbles per game. He has 1.7 shots per game compared to 1.9 last season, and 0.2 down one last year. So it's not too bad. And the last stat was 2.3 fouls won per game. The only thing that really went up for him is his passes, which makes sense because he's playing in a different system. When you said that, also like he held the ball more. Now he's holding the ball more, but I think it reflects maybe to what he used to do with Aston Villa, and he has not
Exactly.
transitioned.
Exactly.
But in all those stats, the only thing that went up is his passes, which makes sense because possession with Manchester City. So
Mhm.
his stats went down a little bit, but because I think he's playing in another level, like in a team that demands more. So he needs to do more. But how long do you think he's gonna transition to Pep Guardiola's way?
I mean, it'll probably take a one season, or you never know. Like a player as talented as he is, like he'll probably, like over the holidays, you know, watch some more film, readjust, and then second half of the season, hopefully he stays healthy, and maybe he finishes off the season strong. But I think it'll probably take like a year for him to actually adjust to Pep Guardiola's way, and like what what the team requires of him, because like he he's playing in the same part of the field, but I feel like it's a little bit more advanced and compared to what he actually was doing with Aston Villa. So um and again, he was the main man at Aston Villa, where now he's part of the collective. Like he's part of that front three, but he's part of a collective. The main guy like on that team is really the engine is Kevin De Bruyne. So yeah, it'll probably take like a year for him to adjust. Like I don't think like what I see from him for the time being, it's encouraging enough, because the thing is that he doesn't suck, so that's encouraging enough. It's not like a Zlatan Ibrahimovic situation when he went to Barcelona, and like you could see very early on, like, okay, this doesn't fit. Like he seems like he could actually fit into the puzzle, and compared to like Ibrahimovic, where it was just like very clear very early on when he went from Inter to Barcelona, that it was just like, oh, this is not a fit whatsoever. He will never adjust to
Yeah.
to what Pep Guardiola wants.
Yeah, I think that's the most accurate answers that you can really find for him. He needs time. It's gonna take a year. He's still young. He's still learning a new system. And as well, I think that one thing that needs to happen next season is they need to get a striker. So that lack of, I wouldn't say lack of goal. They're gonna find goals. They scoring goals.
Yeah.
It's just that I think they need to find a finisher. And when situation that happens that when they need a goal, it doesn't come. The load doesn't come up to why did Grealish not score?
Yeah.
Because in reality,
He's a
he's a
creator.
creator.
Yeah.
He's a midfielder. He could play. He could play the left wing. He could play the middle. But in no way possible. In no way I've never said. I don't think that people should expect too much of him of scoring. So I think that they need to buy also strikers so that it doesn't really affect him getting criticized for when they're not scoring.
I don't know if I agree with that statement 100%. Is the fact that coming from Grealish himself, it's he acknowledges there's an aspect of his game that he has to improve in. It's his goal scoring output. Like he has to get maybe like on free kicks. He has to practice those a little bit more, even though like he's not going to be shooting free kicks anytime soon for Manchester City. It's going to be Kevin De Bruyne and Riyad Mahrez, even Sterling for that matter. Like it's not going to be him anytime soon, but he has to improve his goal scoring output. And if you want to be part amongst some of the best players in the world, especially playing in an advanced position as a forward, or a left winger, however you want to put it, you have to score goals. So you have to create chances and you have to score goals. So it's going to be something that he has to improve on. Like, so I don't necessarily 100% agree with that.
No problem. What do you no, it's no problem. What and now what do you think Pep Guardiola's best trio should be?
For right now, I think it should be honestly Phil Foden, Ferran Torres, and Riyad Mahrez.
So
I
you think
think,
Jack should be in the bench?
yeah, man. But the thing is that his price tag is so massive that
You can't.
um, you cannot rationalize. Like you cannot, make any excuses as to why he's not being put on the field.
Yeah.
And that's the only encouraging thing for Pep in some certain aspect is the fact that he doesn't suck. And like, that's a solid relief for him that he doesn't have to deal with the media and like, having to bench um Grealish for the start. But yeah, I mean, and he rotates his squad too. So the next half of the season, you probably see Sterling getting some more starts if he doesn't leave in January because he's getting frustrated with not
Mm-hmm.
playing. So we'll see what happens come January, February, how the team looks. But I think Phil Foden is just a crack player, man. Like I think he showed his capabilities last season,
Of
and
why he deserves to start.
yeah, and that's one of the reasons why I didn't understand the Grealish signing. Instead of putting all your chips in the Kane basket, or get
I mean, they could have got Kane also. It's just like
yeah
they weren't letting Kane go.
yeah
So they're like, okay, let's go, let's go with Cristiano Ronaldo. Yeah, all right. I mean, I agree with you. Just before we close that
oh, you
chapter,
do?
and
Okay, you think Phil
no, I
Foden
mean,
should?
no. Phil Foden should definitely start. Like in the first aspect when you said about him scoring, if you get in that start and then there's no striker, you gotta score.
Yeah.
When you get those opportunity, you gotta score because, like you said, there's other guys in the bench that are ready for that rotation. Phil Foden is on the bench. Um, Sterling is in the bench. Sterling, Sterling can score, so you have to at least do this because creating won't be too much for you of staying on the field. So you got to scoring as well. And I think he's gonna get on that momentum to start scoring. Still staying in soccer. Mbappe's interview with LMC.
With
It was
Jerome with Jerome
Jerome
Roten.
Roten. I don't know. You do you remember him?
Yeah, I definitely remember him.
Okay, all right,
I
all right.
definitely remember him. Yeah.
I used to like him sometimes. The way
Yeah.
the style of player he was, it's what he did. Not talking about his skills, like the style of players, like we don't find that often in soccer.
Yeah, he was a decent player.
Yeah, but yeah, he did his interview with AMC with Wooten, and it was an interesting interview because Mbappe was able to talk about his chaotic talk over the end of the summer
Yeah.
between him and Real Madrid with Leonardo, Nasser, and then he also talked about the World. I mean, not the World Cup, the Euro, the penalty he missed, and briefly he talked about his beginning of when he started with choosing between Real Madrid and Paris Saint Germain, and the future as well. What the future is going to hold for him in between his contract talk. So the question I wanted before I ask you everything about the interview itself, I was looking at ESPN FC. One of the guys said, I can't remember his name. He said that Mbappe is becoming egocentric. Do you believe so?
Uh, I mean, I think it's just gonna be a matter of like who's looking at it. Um, he's ambitious. I mean, at the end of the day, like it's a player that actually wants to be regarded as one of the best players in the world, and he's not achieving that at PSG right now. I think Messi coming to PSG actually is a good thing for him in certain aspects because they kind of see like it's it's not like PSG didn't already have eyes on them, but now there's even way more eyes on them now that Messi's actually playing for the team. But I mean, we see the talent, man. Like we see the talent, but for him to actually, like, for example, for him to be like one of the three finalists for a Ballon d'Or, for example, for like this season, where you know he's done great things in the Champions League this year. Uh, his team did PSG win the league this past
Yeah,
season?
no, they didn't win.
They didn't. Yeah,
No,
so
Lille won last
yeah,
season.
so so that's one of those things, man. It's just like he's not accomplishing that stuff, and unfortunately, France didn't do well at the Euros. Um, but he's ambitious, so I don't think he's being egocentric. Like his contract's running out. He spoke to the team allegedly about leaving, and they didn't acquiesce to Real Madrid's offers or his desire to leave. So I don't
Mm.
think he's egocentric.
They said, Kylian, you talk to the boss now. He's like, you ain't talking to Leonardo no more. You're talking to Nasser.
Yo,
You gotta take a flight to Qatar for that
that's crazy.
shit.
That's insane. It's insane, man. But yeah, I don't believe he's
You don't
egocentric at
believe
all.
so?
No.
Okay. Do you think now, like, what is Mbappe's thought? Like, is he seeing himself like, okay, I'm looking at Real Madrid and I'm looking at La Liga. I could be a savior for both Real Madrid and La Liga. You think he's looking at this and then seeing this as a great opportunity to leave and then beginning is his new chapter of not only going to somewhere he's going to create history as well, but somewhere that he can create a personal history and looking at personal and individual stuff like the Ballon d'Or. Is that
Uh,
like an opportunity for him?
A
Like,
hundred, a hundred
yeah.
percent, like 100%. I think they have a great opportunity this season to actually end up on a very high note with Paris Saint Germain. Win the league, possibly win a Champions League, and then like just hey man, thank you for everything you guys did. Like let me go to you know arguably the best league in the world. I still think it's the EPL, for that matter, but if you want, they're the second best league in the world. One of the greatest clubs in history, where there's a huge gap in La Liga right now. Like, who is the best player in La Liga? Like, we're talking about Karim Benzema, Luis Suarez. We're talking about guys who are in their 30s now, man. Like, on the verge of retirement pretty soon. So, yeah, man, there's a huge opportunity. He immediately becomes the face of La Liga. He is the best player in La Liga at that point. We don't know where Haaland is going, but when we're talking about the best players in the world right now and why it's so difficult to actually pick a Ballon d'Or winner at this point. Like I know for me specifically, even though like the likes of Cristiano Ronaldo and Leo Messi, they're still great, but it's not like they're so how do I say this? Their performances are not so out of this world consistently enough that we justify like like absolutely
clear
there's no
option.
exactly
Yeah.
there's no doubt in my mind that Leo Messi is the Ballon d'Or this year. So it's not consistent enough where for the most part whenever Mbappe is on a soccer field he is electric. He's his performance is stunning. Like there's very rare times, and I've gotten on him on this podcast in the past that he just disappears and he doesn't show up for the moment. But it's very rare. It's just the fact that he's so good that when it gets to those moments that he has to deliver, I want him to deliver, and he hasn't done it. What, twice maybe? Three times, possibly in his very young career. He's only what, 22. Like so, like the guy has like many years ahead of him. He's going to improve and get better. So yeah, there's a huge opportunity ahead of him, and I hope he doesn't miss out on it. And where they hold him hostage in Paris Saint Germain.
Help. Yo, that was funny when you're saying that because He said he was. I'm not sure he was. I think he added a little bit spice. He said he was in front of the TV and he saw like Nasser said, Mbappe's never gonna leave for free, and he's like, and what's gonna happen to me? I'm like, Mbappe, you weren't in front of the TV. Like you just added a little spice in front of.
I mean, he could be real. You know that oil money, man.
He ain't going nowhere, boy.
Like
going to what you say?
going to threaten his family or something. So, you can't leave.
You can't leave. You crazy? I'm not sure if they're still buddy or anything. Like Le Clochard. Mbappe mom said, "Yo, listen, because she said when I saw the what Mbappe said and he called Neymar Le Clochard, and she said, "Oh, Mbappe, you can't say that. It's not a good word."
Yeah.
But going to Neymar, one of a Brazilian who has been heavily criticized. We're talking about like each generation there's like always a huge talent for Brazil. We had Ronaldo, we had Ronaldinho, we had Romario in the past, we had Pele way before, we had Robinho, and then you get guys like Rivaldo, but you always get like guys like Neymar, who's considered as the same level as when we're talking about generational talent for Brazil, like Ronaldinho, or a guy who's gonna lead the team and stuff like that.
Yep.
But he has been really criticized a lot, and he mentioned in his press conference that the World Cup 2022 might be his last World Cup because he doesn't know if he can mentally keep on taking this. Do you think overall, with Neymar's career, with critiques from every legend, Brazilian legends, soccer player legends, do you think that Neymar has suffered? Is he the soccer player who has suffered the most critiques? And do you believe him also in the second part? Do you believe also that he's gonna stop there? Because he's 29, he could still get another World Cup.
Is he 29?
He's 29 right now.
Okay.
No, he's probably turned 30, but he's 29 right now.
Oh well, yeah. I actually no, you're right. By the time he plays in 2022 World Cup, he's gonna be 30.
Yeah.
And then
34.
4 years, yeah, 34, 35. I don't necessarily think he's I mean, a lot of the criticism that comes towards Neymar is like self-inflicted when you really think about it, man. Where and I don't know if it's like something that's imbued in the Brazilian culture, where I mean it might be because like they have carnival every year, like it's a party style culture and everything like that. When you have those top level players, I mean we've seen it happen to Ronaldinho, we've seen it happen to Robinho. They like to have fun and they like to party. And credits to Neymar, like he's been able to hold he's been able to keep up at a high level while partying. Then again, he plays in a lower tier league. I don't know if at this stage of his career if he'd be able to hold it consistently if you were playing in Spain or if you were playing like in England or something like that. But a lot of the criticism that comes towards him is self-inflicted. It's him over exaggerating contact, rolling on the floor, crying all the time. Every single season in January, he suddenly he has an injury and he's back in Brazil partying with his sister, or anything like that. So, and the fact is that like again, we actually we compare you to yourself. We compare you to to what level of talent that you have. And the fact remains is that Neymar has extraordinary talent. Like he was supposed to be the next guy. Like before even Mbappe, like who actually eclipsed him. And I'm not being disrespectful. Like it's not like in terms of talent gap.
Yeah.
Like eclipsed him in terms of like we hold this guy to like a high regard. We have more respect for Mbappe than we hold for Neymar, because like even now, like he's been in France for how long now? Like, and he still doesn't speak the language. Like it's just like, there's sometimes like we have to question his dedication to, to the game and or to like, his peers and stuff like that. So the criticism, a lot of his criticism is self-inflicted. I don't think he gets more criticism than Cristiano Ronaldo has in his career, or than Leo Messi has in his career, for example. It's something that you have to live with when you're actually, at that top level. Um, and yeah, I mean, I think it could possibly be his last Mundial because again, with Brazilian players, it's really certain Brazilian players. It's really tough to actually gauge like where they're going to be, and he's shown to be a little bit injury prone the last couple of seasons. So mentally and physically, I don't know if he'll be able to give us another World Cup at 34, 35 years old. If he's still playing at top level, hopefully he can. I would love to see Brazil win a World Cup in the future, in the near future, actually. But if not, we got Vinicius.
How you, yo, I did not expect you to sneak this in. I'm like, oh, this man sneaked that Vinicius in there. I did not expect that. I mean, I would wish him to, like, it's like you said, it's the critiques is like, you look at it, okay, you can say, okay, this is unfair. Like, they always overloading this guy with so much critique. But when you look at it, a bigger picture, like, they see you at a level and should have been a Ballon d'Or contender, a strong Ballon contender, and even winning his first Ballon d'Or either last year, this year, or next year, because I consider this as a year that maybe Messi is not going to win it, so it could be a new person, and
It should be,
it should have been a guy like Neymar being in a better position than anyone else, like Lewandowski. Um, who else?
Jorginho.
Jorginho. It's not, no disrespect to Lewandowski or Jorginho or even Benzema and Salah or players like that, but
Yep.
realistically, when you're looking at Neymar and Barcelona, and he was still young, and then how he should have been in 29, he should have been the guy in a better position to
100%.
be. We
100%.
should have been saying, "Oh, Neymar is going to be the next Ballon d'Or." So, in terms of that, that's when I think the critiques should have helped him become stronger and more dedicated. Like you said, Cristiano Ronaldo has been criticized every weekend in Spain
Yep.
or anywhere else.
Booed by his own fans, like, and
Yeah,
always
and then
responds, man.
exactly, and then they always put him against Messi, and it's not easy always being put in against Messi because at that time Messi was winning a lot because their team was more complete. Barcelona was at the peak of tiki taka, Pep Guardiola, and stuff like that. They were winning, so it takes a lot of character and
Yeah.
mental to go and keep on working and then snatching that Ballon d'Or away from him when it was a streak for Messi, putting your team in a better position to win in La Liga again with Mourinho, and then after Mourinho winning a Champions League with Ancelotti, Zidane. It takes a lot. So I think that's where I think it could have motivated it, but it took a downfall instead. And then that's when I would say it's 50-50. Like, you got to take it and work on your game and keep on going. And the 50% also is like, he's still a human being, so it could still affect him.
Yep.
So
Very fair.
I should not blame him for it, but I have to blame him because you got to take it. You're at that level, so you have to be able to take critiques. But I would wish him to get another World Cup. 34, I think, if he could be physically still fit and mentally still be there, like,
yeah, man. I mean,
physically,
Messi,
I would say 70%. Mentally, 100%. He could still give us a good World Cup because he's talented.
Messi showing it, Ronaldo showing it, Lewandowski showing it. Like, they're playing at top level, and so take care of your body, man. It's like,
Yeah. Last topic of the day. We're gonna switch to the NBA. Talking about Kyrie Irving. Recent news from Steve Nash where it's official that we know it's been official that Kyrie has not been vaccinated, but it's really official that he's not going to be playing home games. And then it's official that Steve Nash is thinking about how do we play 43 games maybe without him?
yeah,
Because it's back to normal format, right?
Yeah, depending on, I mean, their schedule, I would say, it should be 41, but some certain teams play more games at home than others. But yeah, it should be 41.
have a question for you, but I'm
Mhm.
gonna keep that question for the really last. But just going back for everyone who's listening to the podcast, reason is the vaccine requirement specific to New York City and San Francisco was enforced for those two cities, which means that every player that plays for New York Knicks, Brooklyn Nets, and Golden State, they have to be fully vaccinated. We saw that situation with Andrew Wiggins,
Yep.
where he then after that he decided to get vaccinated because of the fines and the money that's gonna miss and everything like it comes to a factor, and also like we talk about protection for the league as well, because as we're speaking right now, 90% of the league is vaccinated.
Yeah, I think it's something like 93% or
Okay,
something like something crazy, like very high percentage.
now Kyrie Irving can't play home games, guys. So he can't play home games for Brooklyn Nets. And we know that if we're talking about like a situation like Julius Randle or something like Kemba Walker, it could have not made so much noise because those teams are not considered as winning a championship. But when we talk about Brooklyn Nets, we see a championship contender. And they're not going to be contenders if one of your best players, as well as Kyrie Irving, is not going to be able to play. Mike, my question for you is for Brooklyn Nets, what's the reaction now for the team overall? And second part of the question, Harden and KD, what's their reaction right now? How do they take that and move forward?
Well, Katie kind of spoke. I think already. I think Harden as well. Like they still see Kyrie as being part of the team. Um, w- One other thing is, I don't know if I'm the only person that's of the belief is the fact that I don't necessarily think that Brooklyn needs Kyrie. Like they have the best player in the world in KD already. They got James Harden. They have a pretty well-rounded team at this point. They still got Blake. They re-added LaMarcus Aldridge. Um,
They got the point guard. Why is he missing on my name? He used to play for Spurs for Popovich. You know who he
oh
is.
yeah, Patty Mills. They
Patty
added
Mills.
they added Patty Mills in the offseason. They added a great player through the draft as well. Um, so they're very, 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 very good ball club. Um, why this is making so many headlines is, well, not only the vaccine thing has been heavily politicized and heavily publicized, and especially in the age of social media where everything is just out there now. Like I never thought like one day like this thing would be like public like knowledge, right? Like there's this thing like HIPAA laws and stuff like that. Like you can't divulge that type of information. That's one of the things that people been going back and forth a lot with the vaccine and stuff like that. I'm not an expert. I'm not an expert. The one thing is like, logically for me, like the minute I saw like, the way the world was going with, with the pandemic is okay, this vaccine is becoming like immunization. Like when you're going to school, when you came from a different country or whatever, like when you're going to register for a new school, they need what? They need your immunization records. You cannot attend our school unless you're vaccinated against XYZ. So in in the global landscape now, like what we're going through now is this is the new norm. This is what it is. Like a lot of businesses are actually requiring you to get
Yeah.
vaccinated now as well to actually maintain your position at the job. It's just something that's happening. If you don't want to get vaccinated, you do your own research. And obviously, Kyrie Irving, he's adamant about it, whatever. My thing is that it's this big news because it is Kyrie Irving.
Hmm.
The way Kyrie Irving is speaking now, you know who he reminds me of? He reminds me of Joe Budden. And if anybody who listens to this podcast don't know who Joe Budden is, Joe Budden was um what a lot of people would probably consider an underground rapper, but he wasn't an underground rapper. He had a one hit wonder and Pump It Up. Yeah, people consider him as a very prolific lyricist, but he didn't have much success in his career as a rapper. But then he became a podcaster, and he had, he started blowing up and becoming this huge success. But what's common with Joe Budden is like, well, what a lot of people see him as is a self-sabotager. A guy that once he attains this huge level of success, he somehow manages to mess it up. And Kyrie feels very similar to me. Like he kind of reminds me of Joe Budden, where even Neymar, to that matter, it was like, just it's like they'd get along swell. It's just I don't understand why he does this to himself sometimes, because you're so talented. You apparently you're smart, but sometimes
Apparently.
yeah, but sometimes when you speak, it just sounds stupid. Um, I don't understand it. For me personally, I think the Brooklyn Nets should actually, if they want to achieve the level of success that they want to, and that's why they've invested so much money in the Brooklyn Nets. They have Kyrie, they have KD. At this point, I don't know if you actually necessarily need Kyrie. I might be harsh in saying that, but if you were to trade him for, some other assets, like, Shaq spoke about it. Shaq said basically
Trade
it's
him.
like, yeah, exactly. It's just
Everyone basically in the media said trade him.
because now you're being such a huge distraction to your team. and and going back to what you said about Neymar, like, he's human, and I'm sure that the criticism gets to Kyrie too at some point. But if you want to stick to your guns, Muhammad Ali in the past, man, stuck to his guns, went to prison for it. It's a choice at the end of the day.
Hmm.
Like, you get what I mean? I know a lot of people are saying that, yo, that's money away from his family and stuff like that. Then at that point, there is no choice. There still is a choice.
All
Like,
right, let's move to the very last topics, really short topics, but that's the end of the major topics that we had. We're just gonna move to really short answers right now, where I'm gonna ask you, Mike, a couple, I would say 60 seconds answers
mhm.
of what you think is gonna happen, and whenever you're ready, I can get that going.
Okay, I'm ready.
Ben Simmons situations, where what happens in the next couple weeks?
I mean, they're talking about the Pacers. Uh, if they could get Malcolm Brogdon and Karis LeVert for Ben Simmons, go for it, man. If that's the only two players you get for Ben Simmons, go for it, please.
Karis
Like,
LeVert, that would have been a good
yeah,
acquisition for them. You get scoring.
especially Malcolm Brogdon, very good point guard, very good shooter, very good defender. Please
You
go
said
for it.
Brogdon and Levert for Ben
Yeah,
Simmons. That's
yeah,
a perfect trade for
yeah,
both
yeah.
situations.
If they can get that package,
Mm.
shoot for it. Even though I would like to see Ben Simmons end up in Minnesota or something like that. Send him to Siberia where he could suffer for a while.
All right, Squid Games. I know you watched the show. You told me that
Yeah.
earlier. A lot of people watching the show,
Yeah.
and a lot of people. I saw someone said that Squid Game got people suffocating in the media. They got the media in choke right now.
They got him in a
Yo.
headlock. They got him in a headlock. Everything Squid Game.
Heavy headlock, bro. You remember the headlock that Ben Simmons had? Who was that? Cat? It
Was
was
it
Cat.
Cat?
Yeah, it was
Was it? Oh
Cat.
man.
Because Cat was gonna fight Embiid, and then
Oh
he
yeah,
got on the
yeah,
floor,
yeah,
but
yeah,
you didn't
yeah,
need to get him in the headlock like that. That's the headlock. The headlock
yeah.
that Squid Game got us. You hear me?
Yeah, I hear you. I
Oh,
hear
okay,
you.
my fault. I kind of moved my mic by mistake, but yeah. Um, yeah, so I'm gonna go with every game, and I'm gonna ask you which game that you think that you would have passed, and where you would have died, or if you would have won it. You never know.
Mhm.
First game was green light, red light with the big
Yeah,
door with that
yeah.
creepy music. No, 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 whatever
That's
that is.
yeah. That's one of the games I remember playing as a kid.
Yeah, I remember that game. So you know you would have checked that. You would have
Yeah, I
won
would have.
that.
Yeah, I would have passed that at that. Yeah, I was very good at that. I would have passed at that.
The second one was the shape game. they had like the triangle,
Yeah.
circle, and
So that was the
umbrella.
second. That's the one I was thinking about. That I think I might have died there, bro.
No, but it depends. Like, okay, let's say we have a scenario that you get picked the triangle. Do you think you would have managed winning this, or
I'm
you would have?
so I'm so clumsy, bro. Like
Damn,
I'm so clumsy. I would have
bullet in
cracked
the head.
I would have cracked that little sugar thing like the first time I put my pin in there, man. It was like, oh, and
You'd
my
be
dudes
like,
would probably still go towards the umbrella. Like I'll be like, oh man, it probably like shield me
psych.
from whatever. Like maybe there's some significance there. Like I'd move towards that one.
So you would have that's it here.
Yeah, I would have. It would have been game over for
That would
me.
have been your final moment.
Been game over for me,
That's
man.
an early dismissal.
Yeah.
Um, would you if let's say you crack that and then you saw the guy coming, would you eat that before you go? Last meal. Yo, last meal, yo.
I mean,
That's your very last meal.
if it's good, it's like didn't one person actually put it in their mouth? Well,
Yeah.
I don't.
Now they were licking it at the end.
Okay, I mean they didn't die though. I think they just ate it and then they walked away. But yeah, I probably would try.
Well, if that was your last one, so that's it. My final question was, I'm not sure what I think he said he was from Pakistan.
Yeah,
The guy that got
Indian
played.
dude? Yeah.
He got played. What was your react? I feel like I asked so many people about that. What was your reaction to this? You think that dude was too soft?
Yeah,
Like
man,
that dude really got played, bro.
it's just
Put
the
some
fact-
rocks in this thing.
Yeah, unfortunately, it's just like he was so gullible and he believed in the guy so much that because that dude helped him out outside of the games before,
Yeah, he gave him some
and
money.
then in the games, like he came up with some strategies. Like yeah, he was so gullible, but he should have been like, if you notice, then why not let me win, and then you go off and do this by your own damn self. Like I don't need to. Like why do you need
Why
to?
are you sending me?
Why do you need to guard my marbles? Like go off and do you, bro. Do you, bro? Yeah, man. I felt really, 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 really bad. Like it just felt like plot to me in a sense, but we have those people in the world. Like
Yeah.
I might have been that person in that situation that I feel so bad that like I really can't fathom that I'm going to take this person's place and he's going to die, because of me. Like even though I don't know, my instincts of survival might have kicked in, and I'll be like, fam, like what? You think I'm dumb? Like you better go do this shit yourself.
I feel like at first he was like, "You sure that's gonna work?" Like his instinct was like, but he's like like you said, he believes in the guy too much. He gave him bread. Yep. Like you remember the food, like, oh sir, I left you some food. Yeah, bro, you really trying to lose. You really trying to.
He was so nice, man. He was so.
He
nice.
gave him rocks, bro. He gave him rocks.
And then
see you in heaven.
My man died. Yeah. My man died. But the other one that probably would have lost that was the tug of war.
Oh, like the rope game?
Yeah, because
I feel like the rope game it's more of who's your team is.
Exactly, because you depends on who your team is. So they came up with a great strategy, and that's one of the things that I remember when I used to do tug of war too when I was a kid. It's like you gotta let go of the rope a little bit so that the people advance, and then
you got him back. I think I would have lost on the glass thing. I don't know how to.
Yeah,
like that's over right here, bro.
That's instant death.
Yeah. Or I would have stopped, be like, yo, you know what? Everyone is dying today. I'm not going nowhere.
I'm staying all the way in the back. Y'all could go. I'm taking a seat. I'm staying. If y'all succeed, then I'll go behind y'all.
If we don't, we all good. We all good. All right. So yeah, that was the last one. That was a good one. Yeah.
That was fun.
That was fun. Episode 20. Like, subscribe. A La Une Sports. Thank you, Mike, for participating. It was a good show.
Thanks, bro.
Hopefully I get to polish the background. I keep staring at my white background like that. I'm like, man, what does people be thinking about? Like, yo, you've been doing this for 20 episodes. Like, get some shit in the back right now. All right, man. Thank you very much, man. Everyone, thank you for everyone that's always like listening. Appreciate it. Thank you very much. Mike, see you next time. We're gonna get an NBA episode soon.